There was an incident not too long ago that took place where it appeared as though Russian ship was trying to cut cables. Tell us what happened in that incident, what it was, and what you make of it.
Well, to be correct, it was the ship or tanker belonging to the Cook Island or sailing under the flag of the Cook Islands. And they had the loose anchor, so they dragged the anchor on the seabed for more than 70 kilometers. So they cut multiple cables and to prevent also damage to the next energy connection between Estonia and Finland. Finland authorities uh, asked the ship to change the course and gave the new coordinates. And in this case, we were quite lucky that the captain obeyed to these orders and they moved to the Finnish territorial waters, which allowed to start the criminal investigation. And by today, this investigation is still ongoing, so we need to wait for the results. But the reality is that ship, although belonging to the or sailing under the Cook Island flag, belongs to the or is listed in the shadow fleet of Russia.
There have been other incidents as well. Tell us about what your thoughts are about these incidents and what's behind them.
Of course, it is very difficult, and in the latest case, also too early to point the finger to someone specifically. But we all understand that if in last 30 years there was no accident in the Baltic Sea or Finnish Gulf related to the cables or energy connections or data links, then this during last 1 year we have had and we've seen three accidents, so-called accidents. So this is why, of course, it is very difficult to believe that it has or it was just an accident. But this is exactly for the investigation to find out and to collect as much evidence as we can.
So if you determine that these are not accidents, which I think most folks have already determined, but you have to wait until your investigation is finished. If it's not an accident, what's the objective?
Well, I believe there are different objectives. First and foremost, I believe that it is aimed to that the Western countries, also us here in Finland, in Estonia, in the Baltic states, we are focused on these accidents or these happenings and not focus so much on Ukraine. And also that the Western media is talking more about these kind of attacks or these kind of accidents and not so much about Ukraine. So, but still, we all understand that the main focus has to be in Ukraine. Of course, we cannot say directly, but we also know what is coming in coming weeks, and this is the synchronization from the old Russian energy system, so for the Baltic states. And of course, when you are cutting the energy cables, then this affects also the energy price here in Estonia and Baltic states. So this has also economical impact. So there are many reasons, or there might be, what might be the reason behind the people who order this kind of accident. So let's see. Let's wait for the criminal investigation. But when I just named at the moment three possible causes for that or reasons behind that, then there might be something else, of course, also.
What about communications between Western countries and the rest of the world? Because there are lots of undersea cables between between Russia and, say, the United States. And we know earlier this week, the British government had noticed that there was a strange ship lurking in British waters, and there was this concern about these undersea cables. What's the point in your mind of interfering if that is the case, if it is determined that that's one of the reasons? What is the point of interfering with these cables? What do you see as the problem?
Let's be honest, for decades, it has been very clear that the seabed is the safe environment. So for the connections to put and to have the connections between the countries, between the continents, and unfortunately, we see that these connections and the seabed is not so safe anymore. And even when you take the economical impact on the fiscal markets or on the stock exchange, then we all understand that when the connection will be lost between United States and Great Britain, then it will have a huge impact on the economies globally. So this is why the critical infrastructure has to be taken under more surveillance, and we all understand that also International Maritime Organization has to say very clearly that whoever is behind that, every captain on every ship has the responsibility personally if they are destroying those cables or connections, and this has to be also dealt internationally. Otherwise, it is very difficult to see that we will not see these accidents anymore.
What is Estonia doing about this problem, these undersea cable threats, or at least the threat to these cables?
Well, first, of course, it is important to have the very quick repair process. So this is something we are investing, and this is something we are looking how we can increase that. But also the reality is that repair ships, there are not many in the world of that kind of repair ships. So you have the queues are quite long, and that also brings some extra cost when you want to have them quickly. But nevertheless, the understanding is that one thing is that you need to increase the capability to repair these cables and connections. Second is how you can prevent it. So of course you can install and increase the number of surveillance systems or monitoring systems. And third, of course, is also the physical presence, and this is what we have done. So also not only Estonia, but NATO as an alliance has deployed ships to Finnish Gulf and to Baltic Sea. And of course, this is also a deterrence message to everyone that we are looking what you are doing, we are monitoring what you are doing, and if necessary, we are ready. We are ready to onboard and then also to interfere if necessary.
Speaking